Hello friends and welcome. This is Wendy with LUVLY.com. Today I am excited to share with you a double diamond fold card. Not just one, but two. So stick with me because we're going to do two totally different cards. And one of them is going to fit inside a brand new Slimline envelope that Stampin' Up! Is releasing in 2022. So let's get started with the fun fold for this first one, where we are going to use the Pansy Patch stamp set, which I love, and I used it when it first came out, and then I haven't used it much since. We're using the Coral Calypso, Pale Papaya, Soft Succulent colors for stamping. And we've got the Soft Succulent cardstock here. And this piece is cut, I have my little cheat sheet here, at 4 inches by 10 5/8, okay? Now, before we get into it, I'm going to give you the measurements for this, but I want to tell you, there is a project sheet over on my blog. All you have to do is click the link in the description below the video. It's going to take you to my blog. The supply list is there, the project sheet is there, all the photos, the information, so you can create these projects over and over again at your own pace, in the comfort of your own home and everything. So that being said, don't stress out about writing down the measurements as we go, okay? Because I promise you they will be provided. So let's get started here. Scoot this over. Okay, so to start out, we are going to score this piece of cardstock at 2 inches on 3 sides. So we're going to score 2 inches at the bottom here. We're going to rotate and score 2 inches, which will basically score this cardstock. Oh, that just cut my cardstock. Look at that. Gosh darn it. I had my blade in the way. Let's cut another piece. Okay, so we're going to score at 2 inches, turn it, and we're going to score again at 2 inches. Now we're really making sure that blade's out of the way. And turn it and score again at 2 inches, okay? Now, the next steps are really easy if you make them easy. I've seen this fold done a bunch of different times in a bunch of different ways, and I think I have kind of figured out the simplest way to do this. So fold your cardstock in half, okay? Start by folding it in half. Now we need to make score marks here at the opening area and here also, but they're not going to score all the way through. These score marks are just like little divots we're going to make so that we know where to score to. So you're going to go on the opening end, you're going to score at 4 inches. And you're just doing a little, like just a little ways, okay? Push really hard so you make a nice little tick mark. Hopefully you can see this. There's a tick mark here, and the one on this side is a little bit more faint, but it's there, okay? Then we're gonna move it to 6 5/8 and do the same thing with that opening at the top of the trimmer. That's really important. Now we're going to flip it around so that the closed end is at the top of the trimmer, and we're going to score at 3 1/8, and again just a little tick mark. And then we're going to move it down and we're going to make another little tick mark or score mark at 7 1/2. Okay, now get your trimmer out of the way. Now the next step, and this is the part, it's going to be hard for you to see this because you're not here in the studio with me, but the little tick marks we made here at the top, right, when it's folded, it's making it on both sides, and then there's one at the middle. We need to now score, it's even hard for me to see. This is where you can just do this, okay? Let's get a pencil, not a pen. I know I have a pencil around here somewhere. Okay. So normally I would just go right over the top of this and put my head right in the camera view. but I'm trying to avoid doing that. All right, so we're gonna score, take a ruler, and you're going to line up this point and this point, okay? So we're lining up this tick mark to this tick mark that we just created. I'm having a hard time getting it really good here. I gotta put my head in, guys. Okay, and then we're gonna score. And I'm just using the stylus end of my take your pick tool. And then we're gonna do the same thing on this end. And then the same thing over here. Okay. So now you've got score lines here, 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 here. Now what you have to do, these are gonna fold down. You're gonna fold this together and you're gonna fold back and forth on these score lines, which kind of makes sure that they're lining up well, okay? Those are the ones you just made with your stylus. Then we're going to push in and push up in the center, kind of, okay? We're letting this wrap and voila, you've got your diamond fold card. Isn't that cool? So the decorating process is really, really simple for these. And here you can tell I've gotten my fold is off just a little bit. If you want to be super precise, you can. You can draw lines, you can make your marks even better than I did, and you won't have this little overlap here. I don't mind that, but if that bothers you, then please take your time. Doing it on film is always a little bit more difficult than just doing it by myself in my studio. Okay, the second one I want to show you is this one. And we're going to decorate both of these at the end, but I thought I would show you the folds first. This one will fit when it's finished. It's going to fit into these new Slimline envelopes. These are in the 2022 January through June mini catalog that will release January 4th. And they will fit in these envelopes perfectly. So I thought I would show you how to make this one. This is cut. Let me make sure my measurements are right. Yeah. Okay, this one is cut at 11 inches. Let's get the envelope out of the way. 11 inches by 5 inches. Again, we're using that soft, succulent designer or cardstock, but we are going to use brand new designer series paper and a new stamp set for this one. So for this one, it's the same concept ultimately, right? Except just different measurements. So 11.5 by 5, and we're gonna score at 2.5 inches on every side. So 2.5, 2.5, and 2.5. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna fold. Now I'm gonna show you a different method with this one, okay? With this one, instead of making tick marks, what you can do, if you prefer doing it this way, you can do it this way. We're gonna take a T-square ruler, we folded it in half, and we're lining it up on this cardstock so it's nice and straight. And our open end is at the top, okay? So these are your open end measurements that you're gonna wanna do. You need to make a mark at 4 inches and 7.5. Okay? And then flip it over and make the same marks on this side. 4 inches, 7.5. Okay? So now you've got a mark here and here and here and here. You fold it back in half, and now we're gonna do the closed measurements. Gotta pull this closer so I can see what I did. Oh, for Pete's sake, I can't even read my own writing. I made this one from scratch, so I have to read. Okay, so this one we're going to do our tick marks at 3 inches and 8.5. And then we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do 3 inches, oops, and 8.5. Okay, all right, now when you open it up, you've got your marks, and I can see we're off a little here on this mark, so we're just gonna center it up really good. Same over here, center it up really good. Okay, all right. We're gonna use that same ruler, and now it's much easier to see. The lighting today is really bad as well. We've had so much fog. All right, so we're gonna score from mark to mark. On both of these sides. Now with this card, it's not going to fit in the Slimline if you decide to make it a triple diamond card. So a lot of times these cards are called a double diamond card. I personally think if you add the diamond in the center here, it's a triple diamond. This is what I would call a double diamond without adding another diamond in the middle. You cannot add the diamond in the middle and still have it fit in that envelope, okay? So just know that. All right, so now we can fold it back in half, fold on these score lines. This is a key piece here, folks. This part, folding on these score lines like this, okay? And then same thing. Oh, let's erase our marks. And if you have a pencil eraser and it's not working great, I have a handy eraser here in my craft room that I use often, but this is working fine. Okay, so again, we're gonna fold down these pieces over here, okay, and we're gonna push in, and we're kind of pushing and pinching all at the same time to get our fold. And there we have it. There is our double diamond fold that's gonna fit perfectly inside of this Slimline envelope. All right, let's decorate. And I do have all of the decorating measurements for you. They will be on the project sheet. I am not gonna go over them here on the video with you because honestly, it's just a lot of work to try to remember them all and looking back and forth, and you know, that's rough. So what I'm going to do instead is just refer you to the project sheet, and we're just going to have fun stamping and chit-chatting, okay? So we're using that pansy patch. I'm going to use the pale papaya first and ink up this pansy image kind of towards the top of my diamond here. And then I'm going to go in with Calypso Coral. Oops. And I'm going to do my best to stamp over the top. There we go. And then we have some leaves we're going to stamp in Soft Succulent. And I'm not being like super careful or precise here. I'm not overly worried about precision with this. And then I think that's gonna be it. Maybe I'll do another pansy down at the bottom. Why not? We'll do it upside down, so it's kind of like a mirror image. Whoops. Okay. Now, while I'm assembling, and chit-chatting with you guys, I thought that I would share a few things. First, my online card class is open for right now. It will be closed on December 14th. So if you want to get in on my online card class, it's all virtual. There's no kits that are sent out. It's all virtual. Place a $50 order, shipping, and I was going to say shipping is free, but we passed the free shipping thing. I'm recording this the day of the free shipping. There's no free shipping today, people. When you're watching this, there's no free shipping. Okay, let me bounce to the card here. This is important. Okay, we're going to line this piece up in the middle. And I'm going to line my points up with this score line in the center. So I want to make sure my glue goes under those 2 points, right? I don't want to, because I don't want to glue this part to this part. Okay. So we're just going to center it as best we can, line it up. The glue is on the bottom, and glue this piece down. All right, next pieces. So anyway, you can get that card class for free when you place a $50 order, and there's that. The other thing is I've updated my shop, and my PDF tutorials are now $1 per page. So if you want to get a tutorial from me from a previous online card class, it's a tutorial only, there's no videos. Then you can hop on over to my website at loveandstampin.com and click on learning and crafting tutorials or card making tutorials, and you'll see them there. So you can purchase those. Some of them, they're like $6, $7. So you can grab those there. Not all of them. Like I said, it's going to be $1 a page. So you'll see varying prices depending on how many pages are in the tutorial. Okay. And then this is that beautiful Pansy Designer Series paper. So we're just going to layer this on. And normally I would say don't use paper that is directional on these corners, which this is directional paper. But I feel like you can get away with it with flowers, with these flowers in particular, because they're kind of just, they're close together, they're jumbled up. I feel like it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna make sure they all face the same way though, on each side. And so this is fun because now, like, you could stamp on each of these corners if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You can just use Designer Series paper. Okay. Now, this card is almost finished. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It stands up like this. So pretty. Let's do a sentiment, because cannot have a card without that. Well, you can. Lots of times I leave a sentiment off, to be honest, because that way, if I have an occasion come up and I need a card, I can just throw a sentiment on it and that's it. So I'm going to use Calypso Coral ink here. And I'm going to ink up this happy birthday sentiment and stamp. And I'm going to fussy cut around this. Okay, so while I'm doing this, we're gonna have a little story time. So many of you commented that I should turn the man in who was creepy towards me. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go watch last week's video, but we had a repairman, he was creepy. I'm not gonna tell the whole story because I already did that last week. But bottom line is, many of you brought something to my attention that I didn't even think of, which was, what if he does this to somebody else, or what if he does worse? So I thought, gosh, you know, that really hit me in all my feels. And so I thought, yep, you guys are right. I need to call. So what I'm going to do, I haven't done it yet, but I am going to call, and I'm just going to call anonymously, and I'm going to say, this is the name of the repairman. He came to my house. He was fairly inappropriate with the things he was discussing, and he even called me babe when he was leaving the house, and that made me feel really weird, and you guys need to know. And I am going to speak to the owner. Not many of you suggested don't just speak to whoever picks up the phone. Make sure you're talking to the owner. So I am going to do that. So anyway, I wanted to let you know, I wanted to follow up and let you know I am going to say something, just because you're right. Like, I wouldn't want anybody else to feel uncomfortable, or God forbid, like their young daughter or something is home and the daughter doesn't know how to handle the situation type thing. Okay. So we're just going to add the happy birthday right here. And this card is finished. Isn't that cute? And this will fit into a regular size envelope. So that's fun. Okay, so there's that card. Let's move on to the Big Daddy. Now, we're going to use brand new paper. This paper is going to be available in 2022 in January. It is called Flowering Fields. I'm going to show it to you really quick. Isn't that beautiful? It's really pretty. I love the colors. The colors are 100% my jam. Okay, so that's the paper. And we're going to decorate it up. So we'll start with the corners because those are easiest. So anyway, that's the story with the guy and the follow-up and what I'm gonna do. We did find couches. That is something that we have discussed in the past, that we were looking for furniture. We found some. It will be delivered this week. And I already know a lot of you are gonna be like, how in the world are you getting couches so fast? Because, you know, the whole world is sitting on a ship in the sea. So, the reason is because, y'all, I have champagne taste. So I picked like these really nice couches that hopefully will last us half a lifetime. And, they had 4 of them in the warehouse. So I kind of just lucked out, with what I wanted. They had, my husband really liked them. He sat in them and was really comfortable. The hardest thing about buying furniture for us is that my husband is 6'5" and I am 5'2". So do I need to even say any more? We have such a height difference that anything that's going to be really comfortable for me is probably going to be uncomfortable for him, and vice versa. So we found something in the middle that I think we're both fairly pleased with. I'm comfortable in the couch. He's mostly comfortable. I am a little concerned with him ultimately really being comfortable, but I mean, it's done. We committed. We purchased it and there's nothing to be done about it now. So, hopefully he is comfy and he does like them, and I'm gonna stop worrying about it because I have worried myself sick over if he really is comfortable in the couches. And somehow I've shorted myself 2 squares. So we need to cut a couple of squares. Let's measure these. Remember, my measurements are going to be provided in the project sheet. So please, please, please don't be stressed that I'm not providing you measurements right now. Okay? You need to just go to the link in the description of this video and click the link, go over to my blog, scroll until you see something that says, click here to print the project sheet. And then you can print it. Oops. Let's get this cut all the way through. There we go. All right. We're gonna need that trimmer again here in a minute, so. These are 2 1/8 by 2 1/8, by the way. Isn't that pretty? I just love this paper. Oh, it's so beautiful. So put this one on your list, or if you're joining my paper party, which is still open, there's a link below the video for the paper party sign up also. If you want to join my paper party, you'll get a sampler of this, as long as it's in stock, which as of right now it is. So I think we're okay. Okay. All right. So for this piece is cut at, I think it's 2.5 by 5. Yep. So what I have to do on this one, because I need to make it fit in the weird fold area, is I'm going to I'm going to cut 1 inch from each side at the bottom, and that's the measurement. So this is the bottom because it's directional. So this is the bottom. So I'm going to measure 1 inch here, and we'll do 4 inches here because it's 5 inches long. So we're taking an inch off each end, and then we're just going to put it in the trimmer, and you're going to cut. Now I can't see my dang mark because I'm blind as a bat. Okay, there it is. We're going to cut from here to here. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. 1 inch. You can even line this point up with the 1 inch line and you'll get the right cut. Okay. All right. So then this piece is going to nestle in right here and get glued in. So we're going to just glue this on. And the thing I love about using the multi-purpose liquid glue is you have time to like wiggle the paper around before it sits and is stuck. Okay, now look, when we fold it all up, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So stinking pretty. All right, so now I have my sentiment that I want to stamp, and I'm gonna use soft succulent, I think, to stamp this. And this is from the Slim Sayings stamp set, which will, oh, there's my other squares. This stamp set will be available on January 4th, 2022. Okay, so we're stamping. And then we're gonna trim. I have no idea when my film cut off, guys. Okay, this got cut in half. I don't know when my camera stopped recording, but this got cut in half after it was stamped. And then this is going down on the top. I didn't know I needed to keep an eye on my camera. This is a new camera. Remember, I've been telling you. New camera. I have to keep an eye on it to see how it behaves. Okay. Now check it out. These little cards have this really pretty little scallop. And then this fits right down inside. Isn't that cute? And it's a perfect fit. Pull it out. Voila! So there are your double diamond and triple diamond fun fold cards. I've knocked the other one off the counter. See what I mean by this? To me is a triple diamond, but people call it a double diamond. So this is, to me, is a double, and this is a triple. But you know, you do you, whatever you think. Those are my 2 finished cards today. There is a free project sheet over on my blog if you want to make either one of these. Both would be beautiful to make for Christmas. You could decorate up these with images, get as elaborate or as simple as you want. I just think they turned out great. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye.